see that temperature? Yeah, I'm zoomed in. And it's just freezing. Not really cold at all. There's no wind. And it looks like we have no ice, just flat water there, looking over toward Boston at just a few minutes before 7. We have to get up pretty early in the morning to beat the construction crew, don't we, T-Rex? So we're out the door before 7. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And I do not have my noise canceling microphone on because I want to listen to the birds. Close the door. Monday morning, February 24th. Last days of winter. Climatological spring begins. There's a squirrel over there. There's a gull. Robins. A T-Rex barking his head off. You can't go far, T-Rex. You're kind of trapped right here. So the sun came up at 6:30. It's going down at 5:30. We've got length of day now passing 11 hours, and we're gaining 2 minutes and 45 seconds of daylight per day. And so you can't stop the seasons. The sun's getting higher in the sky every day. Stop, Rex. So I'm not wearing my lav, so it sounds pretty good right now, except for Rex barking. And when I zoom in, it changes to the microphone in the back. Let's leave that wake right there. And so it doesn't sound as good. What is that wave right there? Neat. And then when I zoom back out, you hear me more clearly. So I'll try and leave it mostly zoomed out. Rex, you're all tangled up now. What are you gonna do? Come on, this way. Yep. We're gonna do the forecast is what we're gonna do, TK. It's Monday, so it's not in a hurry. It's not in a hurry Sunday. We've got a lot of things to do. Oh, Steve's in pursuit mode. There he goes. Steve, don't be catching the birds, all right? Especially on this camera. We'll lose some viewers. So the ice is definitely shrinking. We've punctured a hole in it right here, and it's gonna mostly disappear over the next several days. It's a real busy weather map. I have to zoom in again a second. A little flotilla of ice right there, so there's a little bit of ice around, but this is going to be the week that we say goodbye to the ice in southern New England. It's not an easy forecast though for northern New England. It's not an easy forecast anytime, anywhere, but there's going to be this wintry mix coming at us, and I counted 6 weather systems in the next 10 days. So every 24 to 36 hours, some kind of weather system is going to come through here. Now, when I say that, yeah, high pressure is a weather system, right? But it's the kind that brings quiet weather. And then it's low pressure that brings the busy weather. And we're going to have 6 different low pressure systems coming by. I guess we probably do have 6 different high pressure systems coming by. And the temperature map this morning, Boston just down to 32. We were about 30 here. And colder in northern Maine. So that front that came in yesterday, with day 55 in a row with snow, it stalled. In northern Maine, it's 0 to 5 below, and then central New England's in the 20s, and southeastern New England's around freezing this morning. A little windy on Nantucket, but most of us don't have any wind to start the day. So that front didn't really make it that far south. And beautiful day on the slopes. 3 inches new at Mount Mansfield last night. Didn't stop snow until early this morning. So yeah, this is day 56 in a row with snow somewhere in New England. And what a ski day it's going to be. Although it's going to get very windy very fast, because what's a high pressure system now, here's the Weather Prediction Center surface analysis. And you see those blue H's over New England, and that front kind of just stalled there just north of New England. So these blue H's are also moving very fast. And as they move to our east, the wind is going to increase from the south because of the clockwise circulation around high pressure systems. And what is wind? Air moving from high pressure to low pressure. And the lows are going across Canada for the most part. And that means air comes in from the south and you warm it up, and then a front goes by, and then the air comes in briefly from the north and you cool it off, and over and over and over. That's going to happen several times in the next week and a half. And I'm changing computer guidance. The Canadian let me down on that last Thursday storm, which is now 10 days ago, and I still haven't lost the ill feeling for that. And the Euro, one of the reasons I'm not going to use the Euro anymore is because it said the low temperature this morning was going to be 22 in Boston, and it's 32. So the Euro overdoes things, overdoes the cold, overdoes the warm, overdoes the low pressure, overdoes the high pressure for some reason. And the GFS, which is called the American model, the Euro is called the ECMWF, and the GFS is the American model, and it's been doing pretty good, I got to say. It's been rather consistent. So that's why we're going to go to the GFS, and here's the GFS meteogram. You can choose any model you want to show the high and low temperatures and precipitation and wind. For Boston, I'm going to go with Boston here, and see, it showed on the lower left that we were near 20 this morning. Oh, actually, no, that was the Euro, sorry. The GFS shows the temperature about 40 degrees again today. We made low 40s yesterday. And then the temperature does not go below freezing again. It goes up into the 40s and down into the 30s each night with these more clouds than sunshine this week. But when we do have the sun, it's going to feel pretty good. But it's going to be fairly windy. First from the south. Tonight it's going to be gusting past 30 miles an hour. That's called warm air advection. And then you get a couple of raindrops or a snowflake north. And tonight, and then tomorrow night, and then Wednesday night and Thursday, we're warming up again further into the 40s, probably touch 50 by Wednesday or Thursday. Friday starts off on the mild side, but then cools off, and we go back down below freezing for the first time after this morning. The next time we're going below freezing is Friday afternoon, Friday night, and that's cold air coming in, and then it shows snow for Boston Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it does, and there's no consistency with all the guidance, but this is the model we're going to stick with all week long and see how that works out. And then that moves out and it gets much colder again next Sunday and Monday, and then the real warm storm is probably here next Thursday. Pardon me. Time out for a look at the cats, and I love the sound of the waves. And there's some ducks feeding down there. All right, back to the forecast. T-Rex, please. You're so patient, my viewers. I got a request from John. What's the snow going to be like at Tremblant this weekend and a few days into early next week? John, it looks really good. It's mostly snow there, but the rain snow line is going to be very close. Wandering says, keeping a journal, 18 years of letters to my grandchild, and quoting Tim Kelly. You quoting my weather or my weatherisms or my cats or my dogs or what? Anyhow, very flattered. And Glenn, I'm not sure what you meant by hemi pucking with all this construction equipment. Hemi? Is that kind of an engine? Come over here, see what Rex is barking about. This one's for you, Glenn. I just thought of you. Ice bucket challenge. Look at that. So the ice did solidify again last night. 8 inches of solid ice. And for you, those of you that are new here, I know there's a lot of people new here. That was my ice bucket over there, but it failed when I had 10 inches of water in it at New Year's, and then it froze and broke. So literally 28 inches of precipitation here since the autumn. Oh, there's my glove, Rex. I had to take my glove off to zoom, and my fingers aren't even freezing. Let's go to the GFS and count these weather systems coming at us. Well, satellite image shows them all lined up there, and if you look at the west coast, it looks like that one's trying to come in further south on the west coast, but it's actually headed to the north. So that actually makes landfall up around Washington or British Columbia. So whenever a storm comes in that far north off the Pacific Ocean and crosses more Canada than the United States, then you end up with warmer weather across most of the United States, and that's a forecast. So now here's the GFS, and has so many things to watch. Oh, the system. Oh, one more thing, the radar, sorry. There's a soaking rain in Florida right now. So you get the West Coast fragmented systems, you get the Florida rain, and then over the Great Lakes, that's the next system coming at New England. If you could get that Great Lakes system to phase with the southern system, that's where you get your big storms and perhaps a snowstorm at some point before May in southeastern New England. I know it hasn't happened. We keep talking about it. And it still doesn't look like there's one out there. We get some mixes coming at us. Now, let's go to the GFS, big scale. There's a weather system coming through here. This afternoon, it's going to snow in the mountains, and we're going to pick up snow tonight and tomorrow morning in the order of 2 to 4 inches above 1,000 feet. So it's a powder morning again tomorrow, be day 57 in a row with snow. That moves out. Fairly fast flow. Another one comes right in, and that one moves right out. And now the cold front's getting south of Montreal, but not quite penetrating the south coast of New England. And then here comes another Thursday, Wednesday night. There's a low coming right into New England. There's a bit of a separation between the warmer air in the southeast and the very cold Arctic air over southern Canada, but they're trying to merge right over us with rain, almost a full latitude trough there with rain right along the coast and snow north on Thursday. What's new, that happens every Thursday. That'll be a moving target, and then that moves away. It's very progressive flow, and high pressure comes in on Friday, windy and colder again. And then look at this, a flat wave coming through here as the flow de-amplifies, and it shows a low going right across southern New England with snow for the Massachusetts Turnpike, maybe an inch or two on Saturday afternoon and evening, and then that takes off, and we're left with increasing flow and colder air coming in. Another system trying to come through here Monday and Tuesday with more cold with that one, and then all of a sudden it's a trough building in the west and a ridge building in the east, and we have a potent storm coming out of the Rockies, and it looks like it wants to send a warm swath up the east coast. And look at that arc, stopping it now at day 10. That's next Wednesday. The clock in the upper left, it says 0Z Thursday the 6th, which you subtract 5 hours is how this works, and it's really Wednesday. Wednesday at 7 p.m. next Wednesday. So that's where we go to 240 hours, 10 days, shows a 900 millibar and deepening storm over Michigan with the arc of rain, ice, and snow pushing north out of New England, and the wind gusting past 50 miles an hour up the east coast with warmth surging in here on Thursday next week, and then that would race by here and would probably turn much colder again after that. But that would be the warmest storm we've had in some time. 7 a.m. right on time. You guys, I'm done with the weather. That's the end of the weather. It's week 14 in a row. No, week 19 in a row of coast to coast North America snow. And you see we get a good amount in our mountains. Another 6 to 12 inches of snow over the next week in our mountains, and that'll get us over 100 inches at the Mount Mansfield snow state. So there's our crew, and this is the last day you're going to see this part of the yard. And the Enmore, now the weather is really done, the Enmore from yesterday, watching icicles form with a temperature close to 40 degrees. How does that happen? And ice all over the place, and ice melting and then refreezing. But this is the week we're going to lose all the ice, and watching the sun go down and some sundogs and a tanker go by yesterday. So it was a not in a hurry Sunday, and I got very little done other than making my videos, as I love to do. All right, we'll be back again in 24 hours. Oh, can't hear me? We'll be back again in 24 hours. And good, these rails are coming off. I was wondering about that. And Steve's bush, I think today is the last day he's going to be able to hide under this bush over here. We are going to try and save them over there, but I can't even get that stuff out of the ground because it's all so frozen. All right, see you in 24 hours. Here they come from every direction. I forgot to add one thing. Yesterday, I incorrectly said it was a Carolina Wren. Carolina Wren. Tiny bird, big noise. Great song. Big blocks. Tiny T-Rex. When my friend Stephen James White told me that was a tufted titmouse. Get it straight, TK. That was definitely a sparrow. And a ferry. And an excavator. And more and more and more. "36 degrees. With the sun up there, there's some melting going on, but we also have icicles. This can happen when it's a very low dew point. The the water's trying to evaporate, which causes evaporational cooling. It makes icicles and icy underfoot as usual. Yeah, I just heard a big something crashing down, and it was some of the ice that was coming off the roof there, off the gutter. Let's make it crash down more. Yeah, imagine now that that's coming off the buildings in Boston, because the bigger the building, the bigger the ice. Crazy, dangerous, scary. Shrink wrap comes off in what, 6 weeks? Ice is shrinking before our eyes. There's some ice right there. Mostly gone though. And it doesn't hurt that there's bubblers. Bubblers to keep the ice from damaging the docks near Turn Harbor. In Hingham, we're in Weymouth looking over to Hingham. Yesterday we were in Hingham looking over to Weymouth. The dog park is right there. It's been a really fun sky day. These sky waves. Altocumulus. Cliff, look at the waves up on the shingles. Just saying hello to the geese. Hi geese. Want to be out the door weather more? Or not in a hurry Sunday, which is now Monday. You guys get up on that swing. Maybe slide down that slide. Yeah, it looks like a snow sky over there. It's still snowing in Vermont, but I don't think it's going to snow here. But there's a cold front coming through. So a couple of dueling time lapses here. Nice to have the sun in the backyard. Maybe a time lapse of the ship cutting between Weymouth and Boston. And then the whole day with the sky waves and all. And some piano music, of course. Goes pretty fast, doesn't it? That was only like a minute. Steve came out. Bonus before the end more. Little Steve. Steve, can you look at the camera? So where I repositioned the bird feeder, you can be really close to the bird, but we didn't do the flagpole today, obviously, which is now yesterday. So let's let this thing sail off out into Hull, and then the time lapse of the entire day. Okay, that's good on the tanker. We've got some developments back by the sunset, so we're going to turn it around. And I did just check the data from Boston, where this morning's low of 28 and this afternoon's high of 43 is 2 above the climatological average, which at this time of year is 26 and 41. Yeah, that's what old-fashioned winters were like. And we're actually having a below the climatological average temperature-wise winter. As for snowfall, it's kind of lacking. We'll work on that in March. So there's the sundog. And we'll just watch that. And eventually we'll get to the full day time lapse of both Weymouth and Dennis. Not in a hurry Sunday. Worked out perfectly.